So we are going to be talking about The Punisher, specifically the 1989 Dolph Lundgren Punisher. And this is going to be my collection of those particular, or this particular movie and all of my editions, of which I have quite a few. Now, I'm going to do the Blu-rays first this time. Normally I'll show you the DVDs first of all, but I think actually in this case, the DVDs are actually the more interesting than the Blu-rays, but we're all going to go through the Blu-rays. Now, Punisher 89 has got a bit of an interesting past because the rights were a little bit skew-whiff with the Punisher 89. You'll notice that there's loads of releases from loads of different companies. So I think in certain countries it may have been public domain. And they've actually incorporated some imagery from the 2004 version into the 1989 later releases, even in this first one here. So this is the UK Blu-ray. And you'll notice on Dolph Lundgren's kind of jacket there, it's actually got the Punisher skull. That's been added because that logo was never in the movie, and that's actually the logo from the 2004 version. So just really to kind of just hammer home that it's the Punisher. The reason why the logo was never in the movie is because when they made the 1989 film, they didn't have the complete rights to the Punisher. They couldn't use supporting characters like Micro, and they couldn't use the skull logo. So this is why it was kind of almost a very loose adaptation. Anyway, this is the UK kind of standard Blu-ray version of the 1989 Punisher. So this is a German media book, and it's quite a hefty piece here, both Blu-ray and DVD. Nice kind of thick piece, and obviously with this one you get a kind of a nice book detailing all of the kind of like production notes of the film and what have you. You also get the work print version of the movie, which is a kind of a longer version, which is essentially like an extended version, but not quite finished, if that makes sense. So it doesn't look quite as polished as the extra scenes don't look quite as polished as a regular version. So that is the German media book. And then we have the UK Steelbook. Now you'll be forgiven for thinking this is the Thomas Jane 2004 version because it has that skull logo on it from the 2004 version, but it isn't. It's the Dolph Lundgren version, as you can see there. So this is what I mean. It kind of the release of this one's a little weird. I absolutely love this film. This film to me is actually quite underrated, I have to say, and it's kind of written off as just a kind of mindless 80s action film, but I actually quite like Dolph Lundgren in the role of this. And do you know what I would have loved to have seen is Dolph Lundgren play the Punisher now, and you almost make this film canon. So he's like been doing this for like, you know, nearly kind of like 30 years or something, and it's just like he's like really old and grizzled now. I think that would have been great. Anyway, so that is a steelbook. There's also a German steelbook. Again, this is a more recent release actually, so there you go. Nice picture of Dolph on the back there. So we're going to move on to the Blu-ray. I'm just going to show you a few of the kind of the standard Blu-rays from around the world, basically. First of all, not quite sure what some of these are, what some of the countries are these from, but these are just your basic DVDs. And it's been released so many times, this film. This one's obviously like a Spanish-speaking country. There's some I do quite like some of the kind of the photos from this one here. I think that's quite a cool image. Then you have the American kind of standard DVD. And now we come on to what I think is the really cool stuff. So these are all DVDs, and so this is known as a hard box, or Hart box if you are from Germany, and they're kind of like oversized, almost VHS style boxes, and they make these in very limited numbers. So I've got a couple of these. So the first one here is, you'll see, number 38 out of 500. So these are pretty scarce. Now what they do is they make a whole bunch of different versions of them. So The individual ones for themselves can be quite hard to get hold of, but there's a load of them. This one here, for example, another design. This one by 84 Entertainment, which is another company. This is what I mean. So I think the original Punisher film may have had some kind of like public domain situation going on. This one is limited to just 150 copies, which is by far and away the lowest number of anything that I have in my Marvel collection, and this one being 114. So this one's pretty rare. And you get a poster and a button badge, and you get the uncut version, which is generally kind of quite renowned for cutting their films quite a lot. And then you have another version. This one, again, you'll notice the Punisher logo in the back here. That's obviously been added, that wasn't in the kind of the original kind of marketing for this one. This one again by XT, and this one is limited to 500. Got number 18 out of 500, so you know, still quite a low number there. Next three are all hard boxes. Then we have a small digipack, really thin. Just again, I think this is from a European country, not quite sure when. And I have another one. This one actually got BBFC logo on it, so I think it's a UK version. And just a kind of a small digipack there. Then we have a steelbook type release. It is technically, whoops, just not the camera there, my apologies. It is technically speaking a metal pack because it does have that hinge on it, but it's referred to as an ultra steel when you kind of look for this thing. And as you can see, it has a kind of lenticular sleeve, but it's obviously not one that is particularly fantastic. And has this kind of quite cool kind of mottled finish with it. It's pretty good, so I quite like this one. And then we have another digipack. This one's actually a Blu-ray. Sort of slipped in my DVD pile there. So limited to quite a low number, 333. So again, pretty limited. There's so many releases though this film. I can't keep on top of it. So that is another digipack, digibook. And then the final one is a French release of the Punisher. This came out relatively recently. You can get this in both DVD and Blu-ray. This one folds out. It's quite, mine's still up, so I can't unseal it, but it kind of folds out to quite a nice character kind of like shots and everything. So that's all quite nice. Yeah, so then this one's a 3-disc DVD edition. So that concludes the Punisher 89 collection. Which version do you like the best? I mean, do you have any other ones that I don't have here? Because you know, I'm always on the lookout for more, and I like to see what people have got in their collection. And obviously, don't forget to check out the other kind of 2 Punisher movies, the Warzone and obviously the 2004 videos that will be up somewhere on the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.